Is everyone having sex in high school? / is it weird to not be having sex?
What if you have a boyfriend who wants sex / is pressuring you?
What if you've already had sex?
What if we will get married one day though? So what do you think about sex then?
Does anybody wait until marriage anymore? And what is the point even waiting until marriage?
What if your boyfriend and you are having sex, but you want to actually wait until marriage now?
How far is too far when it comes to if you've decided to wait until marriage? Hey guys,
I'm Sarah.
I'm Kaitlyn.
And we are your best friends.
We're going to be talking about sex. We're going to be talking about sex before marriage, and we're talking about it for high school girls. Because right now you might be going through a phase where all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, everyone's having sex, I think. Should I have sex? Should I wait till marriage? Does anyone even do that anymore? Maybe you have a boyfriend who's pressuring you to have sex and you don't know if it's the right thing to do or not.
We ourselves have friends who they wish somebody would have told them sooner certain things because they wouldn't have this pain or this regret or something stolen from them. And so we want to extend that to you if you're in the middle of something or if you're going to be walking to high school soon, whatever.
We have 7 questions that we're going to answer, so should we just jump into it?
Let's jump into these freaking questions.
Oh yeah. Is everyone having sex in high school / is it weird to not be having sex?
Not everybody's having sex, and no, it's not freaking weird to not be having sex.
If you're in a high school where it does seem like everyone's having sex, because it definitely too depends on your high school. Maybe it is technically the popular thing to do to be having sex, and maybe in your friend group you are the only one who hasn't had sex yet, at least your friends claim. If you're feeling like the odd one out and you're like, crap, but everyone's talking about sex, you can know that even if it doesn't feel like normal to not have sex or to wait till marriage, in high school a lot of the times everyone's either putting on a front and they're loud about it, they're talking about having sex, but they don't reveal to you that they regret it, or they don't reveal to you that actually someone they had sex with hurt them because they broke their heart and things like that. Even if your friends right now, you're the only one, trust me, in a few years, if you make the decision to not have sex, it's not going to be the weird decision anymore.
Dude.
You will be the one who actually made sense, and the rest of them will be the ones that
kind of fell for what the blob of high school was going for.
And that's life. You start to realize that just because everyone is bragging about it and it's cool and the crowd's doing it doesn't always mean it's the best decision for you. So
I know there comes a day when you realize all those movies that portrayed the party lifestyle were so wrong. High school to me reminds me of this cloud. For you, the goal is just get through this cloud right now, because there's so much should be doing, normal, weird, follower, clicks, like drama. But if you can just get through the cloud that is high school, you will see so clearly on the other end.
When you know why you make the decisions that you do, you won't be doubtful about it. So you, in this video, might learn why actually you don't want to have sex right now and why you want to wait till marriage to have sex. And so if you make a decision that's unpopular, when you know why you're doing it, people can't talk you out of it if you're on a firm foundation. And that is what being a secure person is. Does anybody wait until marriage anymore? And what is the point in even waiting until marriage?
I'll just paint you a picture of why to wait for marriage. God is so good. He created every good thing that is in this world. Contrary to what your thoughts or the lies that we believe say, God created every good thing. And God created sex pleasurable, for reproduction, and for greater connection between two people. He created that. The reason why we wait until marriage is for a few reasons. The biggest one being, if you actually have a relationship with God, you trust God. And so you trust that if He told us that marriage is meant to be when there's a covenant, then we trust that that's for our freaking good. I'll give you an example. If you have sex before marriage, you will start to find insecurities that stem in this relationship. You will start to feel a connection even if you see that this person's toxic. God created sex, so he knows how to literally use it for its best ability. And sex was not intended to be given to somebody else before there was a commitment, y'all. And that's why so many relationships are breaking apart, because people are committing to each other before the commitment. And that's why people aren't getting married, because they're already committing before a commitment. You know how much insecurity that brings? That you've already given yourself, but this person hasn't even said, I'm going to enter into a commitment with you.
When I made the decision to wait till marriage to have sex, I wasn't at a point in my life where I knew God. And I wasn't at a point in my life where I was following God. Yet I made that decision anyway, and I'm grateful to God now that even when I wasn't following him, something inside of me was like, hold on to this though. Like, don't have sex. And it's weird because I contemplated it many times, but I stuck with my decision. And so for you, if you don't know God, maybe you're not even a Christian, maybe you're an atheist or whatever, you don't know what you are right now and you're trying to figure it out. From making the decision to not have sex, I've seen so many things just on a practical level of how sex before marriage F's with relationships. One of them is that if you have never had sex before and you have sex with someone, it's going to be hard for you to break from that person, even if they're not the right person for you. Especially being in high school. Us girls, we are so romantic, and we think that these guys in high school are so sweet, and no, you don't understand, like, he really likes me, and I think we're gonna get married one day, and oh, I love him so much. Most of these guys in high school, they are a lot of the times not emotionally ready, and we bring this serious thing into it, which is sex, thinking that we're old enough, thinking that we're mature enough to make this decision. You're still a kid. And you think that you know what's best for you, you're gonna get hurt.
Yep.
That is another thing that I realized is when I was in high school, I seemed to think these girls who are popular, these girls who are, you know, talking about their body count, talking about sex and stuff, they seem happy. They seem like they have it figured out, but they were so hurt and broken inside in so many ways. But because you're their age, you think that they know something you don't. They don't. Sex outside of marriage practically can make relationships very unhealthy because you've now moved up a rung on the intimacy ladder that you just weren't ready for yet. And you wonder why people keep getting roped into toxic relationships. A lot of the times it's because the relationship has become all about the physical, which is a very powerful force.
What if you have a boyfriend who wants sex / is pressuring you? What we try and do here on this channel is create women, create healthy, wholesome people. And so I'm going to give you an answer that isn't just going to superficially help you, give you a band-aid. If you have a boyfriend who just wants sex or who is pressuring you, he's not a good boyfriend. And I don't like to be the one who says that. I'm not the one to say very strong statements like that. If you're dating somebody who doesn't even want to take the time to consider what sex even means between two people, if you're dating somebody who is just a boy and just wants to do something that feels good, they're horny, like they like touching your boobs, it's a little selfish. And that's what Kaitlyn's saying. It's because we're dealing with boys. We're not hating on guys whatsoever. They're just humans just like us. But you're going to ultimately decide, are you going to settle for boys who just think about your boobs, your butt, you send them a Snapchat like with your hair wet, like, oh my goodness, you're in the shower, like, send more pictures. You want to settle for boys? Or do you want to be the kind of person who waits on a man who isn't just thinking about gratification? He's thinking further about you. What's good for your heart? But the thing is, you're not going to find too many because we're just young. Like, high school, you're kids. And when you're in high school, though, you're thinking that you know it all. And you're thinking that you guys are all grown and stuff. But really, it's just a bunch of kids trying to reenact what the movies are like. Followers all over the place. If you get through this cloud, though, like I said, and you decide not to settle, like, I'm just going to trust Sarah and Kaitlyn that they know what they're talking about, that this dude is just being selfish, you will begin to have this internal why, this internal reason for possibly ending the relationship that's greater than just a superficial, like, no.
A lot of the times I thought that, you know, this guy really cares about me. He really likes me. Like, guys, you don't understand. We've been talking for 3 months. He's on the football team. Like, We got a
So
cute
hot.
picture together. Homecoming, he's gonna be my date. He's so popular. He's so cool. Like, guys, you don't see, like, what we could be together. And so you're holding on to, like, the potential, and you think that there's this great love story there, even when the guy isn't great. For a guy who's pressuring you to have sex, or maybe not even pressuring, but you feel a pressure because you're like, I gotta keep him.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the times because we've wrapped up this fantasy in our head of what this guy is. And in reality, then we give sex to this guy, or we give something of ourselves to this guy, and years later you realize he was just a boy who wasn't ready for your heart, wasn't ready for your relationship. You might need to learn a reality check of, okay, I have this fantasy wrapped up in my head of who this guy is. How's he really treating me? Because you have to have sex with him to keep him. He's not interested in who you are. He's interested in your body.
Yeah. And be a savage. Just be friends with him. Stand out in the crowd. Be the woman who doesn't have to follow what everybody's doing. If he's a hot football player, if he's that amazing dude, if you guys have a sick friend group and stuff, just be his friend. You can do that. It's much better than going through this whole romantic sex stuff, giving it up, regretting it. You realize years later, like, you gave up something so heavy for just a boy. You can just be friends, have fun.
You know, I'm sure there are girls who are watching this who already have had sex.
For sure.
And maybe now they're thinking, maybe I should have waited, or I feel regretful. So the next question is, what if you've already had sex, but now you want to wait until marriage? Now you decide. And so what should we say to those girls?
I would say I love you so much. I would say this video, what I love is it's nothing whatsoever against those who have had sex or having sex, because it's not just the action that matters. What we care about is your heart, right? So let's think about your heart here. How do you feel? God loves our heart. It's not just the actions he cares about. And so if you've had sex or you're having sex, he's not like, I just want to fix your actions. He's like, what's going on inside, honey? My love, why are you doing these things? What hurt are you trying to fill? You made a mistake. Let me heal you. You didn't deserve to go through that, but I'm going to make something great out of it. These are the things that God whispers to us. It's not just about the action that we're trying to fix. God wants a relationship for you in which he replaces your old baggage and he gives you new stuff.
A lot of the times what you feel is regret, or you feel shame, and you feel like there is no reset button here. You've already gone, might as well keep going, kind of thing. There's a reason why God sent Jesus to die on the cross for us. He died on the cross for our sins, and he died so that you can be a new creation when you accept him. What that means is, when I accepted Jesus, I am no longer affected or ashamed by my past mistakes or by the things that I've stumbled over. I'm a new creation. And so when you accept Jesus, you literally have that reset button on your life where you can say, yes, I've had sex before marriage. I've done this before marriage. But you know what? I am turning to Jesus now. I'm turning from my ways. My heart has changed. I want something else. Guess what? God forgives you and he restores you and will reward the change in your heart. And so sometimes we're just craving a fresh start. We wish that we could do it all over again. I have great news for you. When you accept Jesus, you are born again. You get to do it all over again. It is your reset. And that's just so beautiful, because you don't have to be trapped for the rest of your life in regret or guilt or shame, because you made the best decision of your life already, and that's to follow Jesus.
And if you want to know where we're even getting this information from, after this video, pick up a Bible or look it up online. You can read in John, look up John. You can read in Romans, and those two books are going to fill you up with more than even what we're saying right now.
How far is too far? When it comes to if you've decided to wait until marriage, I think we want a hard line. We want someone to just say, like, okay, just as long as you stop at sex, like, it's okay. Or just don't. But the truth is, you know, when you are touching each other inappropriately, when things are getting heated up, there's something inside of you a lot of the times that knows that it's gone too far. I think we know, but we sometimes ignore how far is too far. And the truth is, There are guys out there who will wait to not touch your body, to not touch your boobs, to not even touch your butt. They will actually respect your body that much. And it doesn't mean being perfect, but what it does mean is that you guys know the line. And your body, it's not his yet. When you guys get married, fine, he can touch your body, but you're not there yet.
You start to realize that it's not even just about, like, how far can you go before sex. Because, to be honest, I haven't had sex yet. But yet, there's been so many moments in which I felt so dirty and shameful. And so we can see that it's really not just about the action. It's about this internal feeling of purity. And also, you kind of get down on yourself because you're realizing you also lack self-control. And that also makes you feel like a fail. It kind of made me feel like a fail when I would say something, but then the night comes and you fail. You don't have this self-control. So you want to ask yourself too, like, is this relationship, it's probably going to take you time and time again, hurt and hurt again to really realize this. But you're going to realize, like, is this relationship just literally temptation for me? Like, is this just like dangling like guilt meat right in front of my face? Because it seems like every time it passes this time we're together, we end up doing this, and I feel worse afterwards. It's not just about how far is too far. You start to see it's not about the lines. There's something so much deeper. So just ask yourself, why are you going this far? Ask yourself, how are you feeling afterwards? And then also ask yourself, why are you settling? Because you don't have to.
It kind of needs to check our hearts too. If we're asking, like, how far is too far, it's because, like, we want to go far. Like, it's like, maybe I can do this, or okay, fine, but, like, I have to give my boyfriend something. Like, where does it end? And that's when you need to check your heart. You need to check your boyfriend's heart too, because if he's on the same page as you, you guys can figure that out together. And if he's not, then you're going to be struggling.
What if your boyfriend and you are having sex, but you want to actually wait until marriage now?
What you really need is a conversation with your boyfriend that will probably come with a lot of fear and trembling. Because a lot of the fears is that this guy is not going to want me anymore. I love him so much, but I want to wait till marriage. And I think he's going to break up with me, or I think he really wants sex. If he truly loves you, he will stay with you. He will respect your boundaries. Does this happen often? No. A lot of the times, this decision ends relationships, so I'm not going to sugarcoat it and pretend that you're going to talk to your boyfriend and everything's going to go great and you guys are going to stay together. What I will tell you is that if you tell your boyfriend, I'm waiting till marriage now, and he breaks up with you, he just saved you a lot of time. Because you don't want to marry someone who doesn't love you enough to wait for you. So I know it's hard. I know it's scary. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have that conversation, because you're saving yourself a lot of hurt in the end if you have that tough conversation now, even if he breaks up with you.
That's a very hard decision. And you can't even do it by yourself. And that's what I love. Every hard decision I've ever done, you guys, I have not had the strength on my own to make that decision. All of a sudden, the Lord drops a seed inside of you. And all of a sudden, something starts to shift in the way that you see things. And so if you feel something after this video, the Lord might be shifting something for you, wanting to grow you. And now, do this with God. So if it's time for a conversation with your boyfriend, say, God, help me. God, give me peace as I talk to him. God, give me wisdom to deal with this. God, nobody in my high school is like me. I feel like I'm so different in comparison to these people. Even my boyfriend, help me. And see how the Lord guides you guys.
Even if you feel nervous or anxious, that doesn't mean God's not helping you.
Yeah, I never felt like perfect. It's not like God was living through me and I just like was numb.
And you were just able to just do it. No, you'll feel scared. You'll feel anxious. Your feelings might betray you, but God, that doesn't mean God's not with you and he's not going to help you out.
And what happened for me, the way I felt, is I had just more peace than I had unsettledness. So like, I would realize I have such peace with this decision, but it's still hard, and it's still like I have to make a conversation out of nowhere. But you've got peace. Or you can do the other option, continue to like do what you're doing and just keep being hurt. You're
going to suffer either way. You're going to suffer because you know that you're in an unsettled place and you're making the wrong decision. So you're going to be in pain because of that and that unsettled feeling, or you're going to suffer because you're making the right decision and it's a scary conversation and you might have to have some tears to get through it. And so if I have to choose which way I want to suffer for the decision that is best for me.
And please DM us if this is you and you break up, because you need a support system. If it's not us, make sure your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, friend is with you, because obviously life's not just perfect afterwards. What if we will get married one day though? So what do you think about sex then?
You say, what if we'll get married one day? So can we have sex then? But if you are considering marrying this guy and this guy is considering making you his wife, then you better believe that he loves you enough to wait to have sex until marriage and to respect that boundary. And if he doesn't, then he wasn't loving you enough to take you as his wife one day. That's what I'll say.
I'm such a practical person, and I know it's high school, and I know, once again, you're not thinking about too much. You just want to have fun and stuff. But really take a second to be an adult here. Majority of Americans are getting divorces. Like, the divorce rate is really crazy. And adults are no different than you. They're just grown-up versions of you. So we had a bunch of adults who never even understood the purpose for marriage, who kind of did what you were thinking about doing, just having sex because you guys think you're going to get married. So clearly something's not working here if the divorce rate is so high. Clearly there's this little narrow route that Kaitlyn and I are talking about that leads to a good, fruitful life with your husband. But then there's this super wide, and what majority of people do kind of route, that is leading to the massive divorce rate and the suffering and the depression and the anxiety. The reason why there's so many divorced people is because we have a lot of broken people. We have people who are asking questions like you. Should I have sex because we're going to get married? The reason why you're even asking that is because you're a little bit broken. Like, why can't you wait? Why do you think you need to do that right now? Why do you think you need more of a connection right now? Like, shouldn't his love for you right now be enough? Shouldn't you respect yourself enough? And shouldn't you guys be producing self-control right now before marriage? What brokenness is going on inside of you? Because we don't want two broken people getting married, because that's why the divorce rate's so high. So just take a second, my high school friend, to think like an adult, because we don't have many people thinking like adults. We just have broken people making sad decisions to like satisfy our hurt, and we don't have to do that. Especially when you walk with God, he takes us a whole higher, funner route.
Like Sarah said, if you watch this and you're not sure, if you felt something inside you stir and you want to make that decision, or you have more questions, these are our Instagrams. Comment down below, DM us, talk to us. We will be as upfront and honest with you. And we'll give you the nitty-gritty of our life experiences. You need a support system, and you can do this whether you've had sex or you haven't had sex yet. You can do this. We love you. We are here to support you. We are your best friends, and that's why we got to keep it real on this channel.
Exactly. We love you so much. Have a great day. Like I said, Romans and John, get in that for the truth. It's so amazing. And do not forget to subscribe and join our friend family. We love you guys. See you in the next video.
Bye.
Oh,